Welcome back to Bronze League Heroes! It's a Terran in the top left. What was that icon? I don't know. From the JJVV clan, it is Victor. Sure. The red Terran in the top left of Simulacrum. And in the bottom right, surprisingly not a Terran, but unsurprisingly building... Oh wait, now surprisingly building a gateway. It's a Protoss. In the blue probes. In the blue probes, yes. Casaurus. So far, so relatively standard. The probe will assault the SCV in the workplace. It will call HR, but as usual, HR doesn't do much. Probe murders SCV. An investigation begins, but is quickly forgotten as the probe is out to murder again. Another investigator is called, and the probe says, "I swear it wasn't me." Okay, I swear. Look at me. Could I do that? Steals the assimilator, but at low HP. He's trapped. And the SCV, finishes him off. Vengeance.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for the original SCV.
we got him.
The assimilator steal. The gas steal. It will, like, Victor's on one base. He's going for a proxy factory, which there's a not unlikely chance he could lift it up into his opponent's main. Just plop it right down in the corner, and well, let's work from there. One SCV will expend its nearly, well, entirely infinite bullets, taking down this assimilator. Meanwhile, Casaurus is well, he's expanding. He's macroing it up. He doesn't have a second pylon as of yet, but he's got 2 gateways. He's got a robotics facility on the way. He's got a few more probes. The factory is in flight, and it will drop down. Oh, and Casaurus is looking for this. What is this diligence we're seeing here? He's not going to find it because they're already inside the house. It's going to be a Widowmine. We'll have to see the reaction time here on Casaurus. One Widowmine has ended many games before. Widowmine just kind of scampers in, burrows. The probes have yet to take notice. And 5 kills. Dun 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 dun. A good start. It tries to scamper away. The Stalker also a scamperer of his own. But gonna be more than enough. But wait, there's more. Another Widowmine scampering right in. And he stacks up some extra probes, only gets 3. But he's down to 18 now. The probes will take their anger out on that Widowmine and finish it off. And now the factory has left the base. The Stalkers look and find nothing. What happened here? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Observer-eyed Joe. The factory that never was. Behind this is double barracks concussive shell marauder. So a continued 1-base play out of Victor. Casaurus has been a little bit more focused on building workers and expansions of any kind, but he did lose 9 workers. The Observer is chasing down the factory. Whittle doesn't know it's chasing down the factory, but it's chasing down the factory. The factory, wait, factory's not that much slower than Observers is what we're learning here. Let's go to the Casaurus action cam. Yeah, there it is. Now he realizes he wasn't the crazy one. Meanwhile, a drop goes out. A 4 concussive shell marauder drop. They're gonna break those little pony knees of the stalkers and slam into whatever they use for engines on the probe and make sure they can't escape. Unfortunately for Victor, as he takes the scenic route all the way to the bottom corner of the map, there will be an immortal. There's already a handful of stalkers. There should, quote-unquote should, be enough to defend against this. But we'll have to see. It comes down to reaction time. It comes down to whether or not the Marauders are able to find any target fire potential. Well, let's just see how it plays out. He does have 2 warp gates, and the stalkers have moved out of position at an inopportune time. While there was a pylon to spot, he may not have downloaded the minimap DLC. And that means he won't see this coming. Oh, what a beautiful double prog Marauder drop attack. The timing is perfect. All the units come back into the main, and the Marauders drop in the natural. He's going to micro. He picks up, he gets out, but meanwhile, the Marauders at the net. The Punisher grenades punishing the probes. Even Stim. What a play. Beautiful 1-2 punch. Finally, Caceres reacts, but he's already lost most of the probes. He's lost 27, and he gets out. But guess what? They're back. Bravo squad back in the main. And yes, an immortal. It's gonna hurt. Kills 1 Marauder, but almost enough to kill it. Is he gonna go with the second drop? He dips out. First drop coming in. This has potential to go poorly. He spots the stalkers. And that seems like it will be the end of this, as Caceres has split his force as well, but he lost 27 probes. And so far, Victor lost just 1 Marauder. Of course, Victor did not have an expansion up during that. He does have some production. He's been building up at home. Got 18 supply lead. Can't really just go walk across the map right now, but he might disagree with that. So far, Victor showing some strong multitasking and timing and execution. Now he made a smart move. He kept his economy low, so that way at the end of the day he won't be banking up much money, even if he focuses for a while on these drops. I have my own personal opinions on this, but I'm always a perfectly objective and unbiased caster, so I won't comment on it. With 1-1 on the way, Victor has put himself in a good position to build up a deadly army. Meanwhile, though, Caceres, he's got the robotics bay. He's got a Colossus in production. First drop comes in. It's going to go to the safe airspace at the back. Stalker's just barely out of range. Another drop towards the natural. This one will land and unload. There's only 4 Stalkers, which Marauders can fight. The Colossus is going to get involved. He doesn't micro up into the... Oh, wait a second. The Colossus makes things a little more difficult. That first drop at the back. There's a Liberator as well. He comes in! Victor! Evicting the probes. He's killed 32 and counting. 33. But now the medevac itself will be targeted. Another drop comes in. Pretty consistent here. It's like Polton 2010. I think I actually remember Polton 2010 doing straight up Marauder drops like this. Okay, this is an interesting battle. The Stalker's on the chase. Boost is off cooldown, but the Stalker's... Oof, oof. Meanwhile, a Liberator in the main! The revolving door continues to turn. And Victor impressing everyone, myself included. Once again, he doesn't have much of an economy. And his production is not particularly overwhelming. Which means Caceres, despite losing 41 probes, still has a worker lead. The Colossus count continues to grow. You can only harass someone so much before they decide to fight back. And so far, Caceres has held it together. He hasn't panicked. He hasn't used the Celestial Army hotkey. He might not even know it exists. Couple probes giving some mortal support to the Immortals. Victor's getting his third command center, though. He's restarted building SCVs. His army looks like an army that one would have. More barracks on the way. It's all... I love it when a plan comes together. Another starport. This is the phase where now that everybody has been exhausted by a couple rounds of action, I take it back. Here comes Victor again. Does he find a sweet spot? No, he gets hit by cannons. It's a little awkward. But, yeah, maybe not the best Liberator placement. Now the whole army comes to deal with it, but the drop at the back! Still a little optimistic. Victor's starting to get some real diminishing returns with this. Down goes the medevac. Make sure that everything is gone so he's no longer distracted by these petty concerns on the other side of the map, but instead can focus on the domestic front. Supply is starting to grow a lot closer to even with Victor losing those. The upgrades, though, 1-1 against +1. The fact we're talking about upgrades at all. There's a scan. I don't know where he scanned, to be honest. But another drop will be sent out. And so will a whole bunch of Marines and Marauders who are optimistically going to get on that lifeboat, but there are only so many seats. Little do they know, this drop, if Victor's previous record is anything to go by, will probably not be coming home. And a mid-game Reaper. Victor taking all the finer points of how Maru plays while ignoring the forest for the trees. There's a dual-pronged harass constantly, but meanwhile, a Protoss army is bearing down. That Reaper's going to be dealt with. The third base, though, being targeted. The Liberators are already sieged up. A strong defense out of Victor. That's way too many Liberators and tanks. He doesn't even really need much bio to deal with this. The Liberators themselves taking care of it. Down goes the third Nexus. The Colossi getting great swipes here, but baited heavily into the double siege. Liberators and tanks, name a more iconic combination. Both of them more than effective against someone just kind of walking their Stalkers and Immortals in. So Kasaurus shut down and knocked back. Will Victor take this opportunity to bring his whole army together and attack? Or, because attacking is scary, split off small groups of units into drops and other things so that way he can offer his opponent a nice, diverse menu of appetizers, whether that be a medevac. Oh, he's scanning for observers, which is smart. A medevac of Marines, a Liberator, a Reaper, and now for a main course, maybe a double medevac drop. But if Victor puts all of his forces together in a concerted effort, then he probably would not be on Bronze League Heroes. So, we will see. Kasaurus with both these players hitting a lot of the marks of what top-tier players do. Like, they will scout for hidden bases and other information. We got constant scanning, but the focus on macro has been less than... Like, it's not sexy to build SCVs, to build probes, but it's got to be done. Not everything can be a highlight reel moment. Okay. Another scan. He may have caught a glimpse of one Colossus here, but the armies are kind of just barreling into one another. One Viking will sound the alarm. Meanwhile, the whole Terran army is in a bit of an awkward spot here. The fight just kind of starts. Liberator siege up. He's gonna try to run past the Colossi. We do end up in the medevacs either way. The Colossi slaughter all the ground units here. Oh, recall! What a response! But meanwhile, there's a double Liberator at the natural. This is the most high-level, low-level play I've seen in a while. And another Liberator at the third. This triple-prong harass. These Liberators still a little distracted. A scan. I'm not entirely sure what he was scanning for, considering he already had a Liberator there, but you can never be too careful. Oh, and the replay bug where things just disappear. So now Victor has successfully whittled down his supply. He's offered those tasty morsels to Caceres, who's gobbled them up with vigor. And now it's 100 to 103 supply. Well, it was when I started that sentence in favor of the Protoss. There's a lot to juggle here. Stalker Colossus. 4 Colossi with extended thermal lance and +2 attack. But that is a planetary fortress. And we've all seen what's happened with planetary fortresses before. It's bashing, it's blasting, splash damage across the board, killing SCVs, but at what cost? The Marauders target 1, takes down 2, 3 Colossi. The planetary holds. He loses a few SCVs, but Caceres loses so much more. That's how many units and how many players have we seen die on the hill topped by a planetary fortress. Add 1 to the innumerable list as Caceres decides he's going deep in the paint and Victor issues him a 3-second violation. So now, since neither player can lay down that killing blow, where do we go from here? We have a 2 Marine counterattack that will be microed by Victor. Beautiful targeting on the probes. For 1 probe. Victor's building a 4th command center. Both sides have now lost a significant amount of workers. 51 killed by Victor. 23 by Caceres. Victor definitely with more of a focus on technical plays. He's doing everything right except the most important thing. The most important thing being not losing your whole army for no reason. But Caceres is not an expert in that particular subject, as he also struggles from the same, well, I guess we're fighting here mindset that oftentimes plagues those who spend more time in Twitch chat than on the ladder. +3/+3 though. Respectable upgrades from Victor. Advanced ballistics. A scan. He scans a 4th. And there is a 4th. Important to note. The Liberator's on the way. Some of the army has been left behind, like breadcrumbs, so he can find his way home. Caceres with less army supply, but he's got a lot of splash damage to work with. And if Victor is not already set up in this fight, then he will get run over again. Victor has successfully evaded Caceres, though, by just kind of walking around. The Venn diagram of freedom is set up. Triple Liberator Advanced Ballistics is complete. Here comes Caceres, late to the party. Nexus is already gone, my friend, but he's going to fight for it anyways. The Colossi melted. He tried to target fire. It's a horrible mistake. He lifts up into the medevacs. The lifeboats will be gunned out of the sky, but some of them will, sir. Oh, what a beautiful blink. The only survivors, but wait, there's a 2 Liberator counterattack. Victor struck down, but strikes back with a shiv in the third. Oh my god, the probe count is 21. He just killed 25 more probes throughout this in scans to make sure that those Liberators did a damn good job. And yes, they did, liberating a quarter of 100 probes, which is the most confusing and elaborate way to say 25 that he could have. But Victor's also coming up with the most confusing and elaborate ways to potentially win this game as well. But Caceres now, even army supply coming through. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. The Liberators in a great position, but the Colossi stepping forward, starting to melt through a scan. Just make sure he has a good idea of what's going down. But the Planetary again, backstopped by SCVs. This time, though, there are barely any other units to protect it. The Planetary just kind of taking some pot. He's not actually repairing it. He's not actually repairing it! The SCVs! But the Planetary falls, and with it, hope. The SCV is being slaughtered, but Liberators find an opportunity. Victor down to 68, but Caceres, remember, he didn't have the most incredible... Oh, the Stalkers go forward! Not all of them make it past the Liberator zones. Still some Liberator shots. The micros pretty good from Victor here, who now has a supply lead, mostly because Caceres hasn't built much in a while. But the Colossi are melting through the front lines. Victor's trying to hold it together. Supply dipping on both sides. Another Stalker taken out. There's nothing to contest the Liberator. It is the only Liberator, though. That Liberator needs to turn around and save the day. He's going to chase things down. The boys will be sacrificed as well. Targeting Colossi, pushing them back. But the Immortal underneath helps out a whole bunch. The Liberator... re-inspired. The Metamax trying to knock the face of the Colossi to the ground. It's just not working out yet. The rally point isn't incredible. The Colossi going to work. 11 kills, 20 kills, 19 kills. They keep slaughtering everything. The Liberator unchecked. What was happening over here? There was a Marauder. I don't know why. Victor trying to hold on. Oh, the kills one Colossus. Down goes the Orbital. And you gotta be careful. He nimbly navigates through the Liberation Zone and will escape with a couple of his key units, which are most of his units right now. Caceres only has 25 probes, remember. He doesn't have a booming economy. Victor has worked well with small groups of units thus far, especially on offense, not as much on defense. He's going to go ahead and long distance mine from this base, which is a bold move considering he only has 8 workers mining here. He's bringing an orbital. Okay. Here comes Victor with a... It's not a terrible army supply. It's not like he has nothing. He just doesn't have much. Okay, he's gonna pick up into the medevacs for a first-class ride home. The Liberator looking to siege up in a key location. We'll see if he redirects. Oh, okay, that's yep. Just like a typical taxi driver there, taking a interesting route. But a Liberator sieges up, and all those probes that were rebuilt by Caceres are being cut down. He finally moves away, but not before the Liberator racks up 9 kills. Blink Stalkers moving in. Should be able to take it out, but here come the medevacs as well, unless they fly over those Stalkers. Caceres taking his sweet, sweet, sweet time. Oh, Observer gun down. This Planetary is all that stands between... Well, will there be a recall? There's a Planetary. He's not even going to try to repair it. Are we base trading? He's base trading a Terran. He does have recall. There's some probes with this. The boy is out for blood. Or whatever the equivalent is. And he's lining up the recall. He recalls onto the base, though. Is there... He goes for the Nexus. Oh, no. It's a disaster for Victor. He doesn't find victory. Throws out 1G. There was maybe a dream, but he was never able to bring the whole group together and find a decisive engagement where he could really make his way across the map and claim the last letter of his name. Caceres holds on with an increasingly tenuous grip, but eventually builds up that Protoss army you all know, you all love, and you all complain about. And comes out on top. Thank you to FFT Private for judging that worthy. If you also thought it was worthy of watching, like and subscribe and leave a comment about, I don't know if they were bronze. It's like, well, you don't necessarily have to be bronze. Either one, to comment in Twitch chat or YouTube, though it is suggested, to ring the bell, or to be a part of Bronze League Heroes.